the point that I am making is zakah, number one reason is not to purify your wealth. Those are secondary. The number one reason is because Allah told us to do so, and we have no choice but to do it. Why? Because we are the slaves of Allah. So Allah says, وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ, and give zakah. We say, oh Allah, we have submitted ourselves. This is the meaning, the definition of being a Muslim, a person who submits himself to Allah. Allah says, give zakah. We say, we're going to give zakah. Zakah also purifies the soul from greed and the wealth from impurity. These are secondary. It promotes circulation of wealth. It is the right of the needy. Brothers and sisters, zakah is one of the few things in Islam in which there is two rights. Many of the things has only one right. Salah is the right of Allah, you must give it. Meaning, if you don't pray salah, and then later on you sincerely repent to Allah, there's a chance Allah will forgive you. He says, it's my right, I have the right to forgive you. Same thing with fasting and other things. Zakah, no. Zakah, so for salah, it's the right of Allah only. If a person for 10 years he doesn't pray salah, and then he gets hidayah from Allah, and then he wants to make amends with Allah, all he has to do is sincerely repent to Allah, and then he starts to pray his salah. Okay? He doesn't need to make up for the 10 years worth. If he wants to, some of the scholars said, yeah, you can do it. But zakah is the exact opposite. Zakah, if you do not pay zakah for 10 years, it has the rights of Allah and the rights of the needy. If a person does not pay zakah for 10 years, and then he gets guidance, or he takes my workshop, or this class, and then he says, oh Allah, for 10 years I did not pay my zakah, I sincerely repent to you, oh Allah, please forgive me. This person will be forgiven by Allah, but he also has to pay for the past 10 years. Why? Because this is the right of the poor, the right of the needy. Does that make sense, brothers? So if you did not pay zakah for 10 years, for 2 years, whatever, then you use your best judgment how much you owed in those years, and you give, and then Allah will forgive you along with your sincere repentance. So this is how important zakah is, because on the day of judgment, a person who is negligent, he will be questioned or held accountable, both in the rights of Allah and the rights of the needy. Imagine the needy and the poor, they come to you and say, oh Allah, this person, he was wealthy, he was supposed to give zakah, but he did not give us his zakah. Zakah also bridges the gap between the affluent and the needy. Zakah, it reduces inequality when it comes to the wealth. Islam is against monopoly. It is haram. Monopoly is haram. Meaning that wealth belongs only to a few individuals. This is haram. Everyone. Islam, you could say, is one of the biggest promoters of a free market, if you want me to speak as an economist. A free market means what? You want to do something? Go ahead, do it. No one can stop you. So, in brief, this is the purpose of zakah. If a person does not give zakah, then that wealth that will come to him on the day of judgment, and he will be punished by that wealth. It will strangle him. He will be punished through that particular wealth. So giving zakah, you will be fulfilling the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the rights of the needy. We can go on with so many virtues, admonitions, warnings of zakah, but this is not the place for it. We will talk about the fiqh of zakah. What is the conditions for zakah? The condition for zakah, that you must be a Muslim. Meaning, if you're not a Muslim, there's no zakah upon you. You must be an adult. If you're not an adult, then you are not liable to pay zakah. However, the wealth that you own must pay the zakah from. What does that mean? That means a 5-year-old who inherited money from his father who passed away, or from his parents who passed away, then he is not liable to pay, but the wealth, the money that he has, the zakat must be paid on that money by his guardians, whoever his guardians are. So I know a lot of the parents nowadays, they have what they call I don't like to use this word, but they've embedded this word, piggy bank. It's not, how can we make it halal? Huh? Sheepy bank or something. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Or they open up a bank account. Or I know one brother, the year that his child is born, he opens up a Roth IRA account. You guys know what's a Roth IRA? He opens up a Roth IRA. Why? Because every year the maximum you can contribute to a Roth IRA is $7,500. So he starts from age 0 and he starts contributing every single year.
Somebody dropped their keys in the south parking lot. It'll be here on the desks, inshallah. Pick it up. The big announcement here is, if you're parked in the big soccer field on my right side next to the basketball, please remove your car. They're going to have a cricket match over there, so if you have your cars parked there, please remove them right now. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
So, an adult, a Muslim adult, he is liable to pay zakat. Number 3, the third condition, he must be sane. Meaning he's not crazy. But let's say a person who's crazy and he owns $100,000, the money must be taken out and given zakah by his guardians. Does that make sense so far, brothers? Okay. The fourth condition, I want all you guys, I was hoping maybe the brothers can come with, because we are going to cover a lot of information. So if you guys want, you can take notes and all of this. The fourth condition is that he must be the owner of the wealth and he must be the possessor of the wealth. And the wealth must reach a particular threshold. This is condition number 5. Within 1 lunar year. 1 lunar year, not 1 year. It has to be according to the Islamic calendar. Now, I'll make it very simple. The day you own the nisab, which is the threshold, I want you to pencil that Islamic date. And then, for the rest of your life, you have to go ahead and pay it on that day, as long as it is the threshold or above. It does not matter within, let's say, Ramadan 1st, you find out that you own $10,000. Ramadan 1st, you got $10,000 as a bonus, and then you're like, okay, this is zakat. Now I am zakat eligible. Next Ramadan 1st, if you have your wealth equal to the nisab or above, you must give your zakat from whatever you have minus the liabilities. It does not matter that throughout the year your money is going up or down. You calculate on that Ramadan first of next year. Even if it was the wealth, even if you got it on Sha'ban the 30th, your salary, you must give zakat on that. So far, does that make sense, brothers? The minute you reach the nisab, you pencil that date. By the way, Ramadan is not the only time to pay zakat. Ramadan and zakat has nothing to do with one another. Has nothing to do with one another. You can pay zakat outside of Ramadan. It has nothing to do with Ramadan. If you pay, if your due date is Shawwal or Dhul Qa'dah or Dhul Hijjah, you must give it on that day. You can go ahead and bring it forward, but you cannot bring it later on. Okay? You can bring it forward, but you cannot delay it, your zakah. Now, what is the nisab? Who knows what is the nisab of gold? Anyone? What is the nisab? Nisab, the definition is, it is the threshold, meaning if you have this much and above, zakat is wajib upon you. The nisab for gold is 85 grams. 85 grams of pure gold, or its equivalent. Or its equivalent. Now, who can tell me what is 1 gram of gold? I just checked. 1 gram of gold as of today is $96. Okay? $96. Pure gold. Per gram. So you say, I don't have gold. No problem. Do you have what is equivalent to 85 times 96? Which is $8,460 in your bank account. If you do, zakat is wajib. If you have, okay, I'm going to use wajib and fard the same. I'm going to use wajib and fard the same. It means fard. For the Hanafis, when I say wajib, just translate that into fard. Because all the other schools, they use the word wajib. The Hanbalis and the Malikis, Shafi'i, they say wajib. Okay? It means the exact same. It means you must give it. Okay? The nisab for silver is 595 grams. You will find out there, some of the scholars, they say 612, some say 600, some say 605. But for the purposes of this lecture, it's 595 grams of gold, of silver. How much is 1 gram of silver? It's $1.09. So the nisab for you, for the silver, is 648. Meaning if you have $648, you must give zakah. Okay? What if a person has gold and silver and cash? What is the threshold for him? What is the threshold? Most of us, or all of us, I can say, that we have maybe some gold, some silver, and some cash. What is the threshold? We use the threshold of the silver. We use the threshold of the silver, which is $648. Let's say $650. If you have $650, you must pay zakat. You might be like, but why? I only have $650. How much is 2.5% on $650? Huh? How much? 17? Yeah, $17. $17 for you to worship Allah and purify your wealth. It is not like, it's 25% and you have to give that. Some people, their weekly check is $600, $700, $1,000, and they pay 25% of it in tax. Yeah, I will come to that. I will come to it. I know what you're asking. Yeah, I will come to it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I just mentioned, let's say today you owe in your bank account, your stock, your Roth IRA, your mutual funds, all of this gold, silver, you put everything you calculated, you owe $1,000 or $650. This is the day, is your zakat due date. This is, put it down, the 15th of Ramadan. You don't have to pay zakat now. Why? Because today is how much your money reached the threshold. You just pen that down and say, next year, I am going to be paying zakah on this particular day. So after a month, your money goes down to $10. After a month, it goes up to 1,000. After 5 months, it goes to 10,000. After, because you could be like a sales person. Yeah, 1 month is slow, another month is very busy. You're getting a lot of commission. In December, 2 months before Ramadan, $10,000. And then you come on the 15th of Ramadan of next year and you find that it is only $1,000. All of your assets. How much zakat do you give? You give $1,000 of 2.5% of $1,000, which is $25. It doesn't matter what happens to your wealth up and down throughout the year. You only calculate it on that particular day, which you penned down last year when you met the nisab. Does that make sense, brothers? Does that make sense? Any questions? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So let's say you pen down today as, okay, this is the day you're going to start giving zakah. Next year, you find, and throughout the year, your money was $100,000. But on the day of you're about to give zakah, you only have $500. Do you give zakah? No, you don't give zakah. Does that make sense, brothers? Does that make sense? Why? Because the condition is 1 complete lunar year must pass on your wealth. If 1 day less it passes by and you don't meet the threshold, you don't give zakah. Okay? Let's say the whole year your threshold was $1,000, $1,000. The whole year. All of a sudden, 1 day before you're supposed to give zakah, the company says we give you $1 million bonus. How much do you give zakah on? Huh? The $1,000, the whole year that it was at $1,000, or do you give it on the $1 million? You give it on the $1 million. Does that make sense? MashaAllah. 1,000,000, 1,000. Yes. To be more accurate. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes. For the rest of your life, it's going to be that day. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Most of the question that you guys have, I am going to cover it, inshallah. Okay? Yes. So it does not make any difference whether the wealth increases or decreases during the course of the year. Whatever you owe on that day, this is the calculation. You make, even if it is the salary you got or the bonus you got just 1 week or 1 day, 1 day ago. You must pay 2.5% of all of it. Now, what is, yes? Yeah. You try to remember the best day. You make ijtihad, you try hard, and then you say this is the day. A lot of people choose Ramadan because it's easy to remember. That's the only reason. So people choose the first, some people choose the 10th, 15th, 27th, 30th. Oh, 30th is a bit risky. 29th. 30th may never happen, and you say, okay, khalas, I'm never going to give zakah. No, don't do that. Because the 30th of Ramadan, what if it never comes? No, then you give it on the 29th. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. If that is your zakat date, yes. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I just explained it, that the day or the year that, the day that you meet the threshold, your child meets that threshold, pen that day. Every single day, every single year on this day, I'm going to start giving zakah. Now, throughout the year, your money will go up and down. Yes? It will go up and down. You're not going to give zakah up and down. You're going to give zakah only once a year. Why? Because you already became eligible as a zakat donor. So, doesn't matter what happens throughout the year. On the day in which now, after 1 year, when you became a eligible zakat donor, the next year, you just calculate how much money do you have. And then you give zakah on that. And I will talk about all the liabilities and debts and all of these things later on. Okay? Does not matter if you got it a day ago or a year minus a day ago. Okay? You have to give zakah on that. What are zakatable assets? Zakatable assets, let's write this down so everyone can know it. Gold, silver, and cash. Who else can tell me? Property. Property is what kind of property? There's personal property and there's real property. Okay, so we're going to call that business investments. What else? Okay, livestock, let's put it here. What else? Agriculture. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about these. So business investments. What else? Business investments. That would be cash. What else? That's it. No. No. If you own a $5 million car and you drive it, or even if you don't drive it, you have it in your driveway just to, look at it and drive it, once a year, do you give zakah on that? Huh? No, you don't give zakah on that. If you have a $50,000 chandelier hanging in your house, do you give zakah on that? You do not give zakah on that. If you own a $10 million house, do you give zakah on that? You do not give zakah on that. If you have 10 cars in your driveway, do you give zakah on those 10 cars? Huh? Do you give zakah on those 10 cars that you own, which is in your driveway, and you drive, or 7 cars, and you drive one every day of the week? Do you give zakah on that? You do not give zakah on it. Let's say you own 4 houses. You own 4 houses, one in Texas, another in Beverly Hills, another in San Diego, another in Alaska. For whenever, you know, the humidity of Houston, you hate it, you go to Alaska. Do you give zakah on those 4 houses? Huh? No, you don't give zakah on those 4 houses. Okay, Habibi, I did not say anything about renting. I didn't say anything about that. And even if you're renting, you don't give zakah on it. If you're renting those houses, you do not give zakah on those houses. But the income you give zakah on. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. You do not give zakah on the houses that you own. Why? Because they are your residence, even if you spend only 1 month a year. Okay? I will come to it. Right now, I only mention you own the house. I didn't say anything about investment or giving it out in rent. Okay? So now, what if you are, because when you bought it, what was the intention you bought it for? Huh? To use it. The minute your intention changes, then whether it's zakat eligible, zakatable or not, also changes. Let's say you bought a house in Alaska to live in because you like to go salmon fishing during the summer. And you don't want to stay in a hotel, you go and stay in the cabin over there. And then after 5 years, you become tired. You're like, khalas, I'm too old for this. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm going to sell it. That day, your house now becomes zakatable. The whole house. Why? Your intention just changed. Your intention changed not for a residence. Your intention changed that now I'm going to sell it. Or someone says, hey, you know now, not now actually, it's a buyer's market, but let's say right now, it's a seller's market for real estate. Hey, sister, you've been living in this house for 10 years. And this house is too big. Now you have an empty nest. All of your kids got married and now you don't need a 7-bedroom house, 2 kitchens, this and that. Go and buy a small little condo just for yourself. And you can make a lot of money if you sell this house and the rest of the money, and you can buy a condo for 1/10. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Your house now became zakatable. Why? Your intention changed. Your intention changed. Now you want to go ahead and sell your house because you're going to make money from it. Does that make sense now, brothers? Any questions? Yes. Yeah, you have to pay zakat. You have to pay zakat. You have to pay zakat for however long it takes for you to sell that house. Huh? Okay. If your intention is not to sell, but it is to rent it out, then then you give zakah on the rental income. But you said, hey, if no one wants to rent. Okay, so then there's no zakah because there's no rental income. It depends on your intention. So far, does that make sense, brothers and sisters? Yes. 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 So once your intention changes that this house is now mine, I'm living in it, to the intention of I want to sell it, now it becomes zakatable. When you buy that house, you're going to live in it. There's no intention of you selling it. Then you're not paying zakat on it. You don't have to pay zakat. So it all has to do with the intention. Even with the cars. Hey, you know, this is a classic car. You should go ahead and sell this car. Once you make that intention to sell your classic car, it becomes zakatable. Okay? So these are mainly the 4 things that you give your zakat on. Yes, sister. Okay, so how do you count the zakat? Let's say your intention to sell the house started after the date of when you give zakat. Remember, we're going to use Ramadan first just to make things easy. Okay, let's say everyone over here is the first of Ramadan is their due date. Let's say after Ramadan, someone comes and says, hey, list your house. I made a lot of money. Why don't you list your house? You say, oh, okay, all right, I'm going to list my house. For some reason, it's not selling. And then next Ramadan comes, and you still have that house. Ramadan first, you got to take the market value of your house, not how much you bought it for, the market value of the house. And you give zakah on that house. Okay? And the same thing when it comes to business stocks. So for example, the furniture in your house, is it zakatable? No. But what if a person owns a furniture home, a furniture warehouse? Huh? A person who owns a furniture warehouse, he has to give zakah. How much zakah does he give? Whatever inventory that he has, that is for sale, he takes the retail value, not how much he bought it for. Not how much he bought it for. He takes the retail value of all of the furniture there, and he calculates it, and he gives zakat plus the income that he received from that, minus all of the money that he owes. Maybe he just got a shipment, you know, he didn't do a COD, cash on delivery, you know, they will send him an invoice after a couple of weeks. You minus all of that. You also include anyone who is to pay you after. Any pending credit card transaction, you must go ahead and calculate that as well. What about the fixtures inside your warehouse of the furniture? Do you pay zakat on that? You have a $100,000 chandelier just to make the whole showroom look nice. Do you give zakat on that? No, you don't. Okay? So do you see how the intention, the furniture in your house, the intention is what? To use it, personal use. You don't give zakat. The same furniture and chandelier in the warehouse, look at the intention, how much it matters. Your intention is what? To sell it. Zakah. Okay? Same thing if a person has a car showroom. He has, on the day, he has 100 cars. Of his zakah, Ramadan first, he has 100 cars. He takes the retail value of the cars. If he's a wholesaler, then he takes the wholesale value. If he's a retailer, he takes the retail value. Minus all of the expenses, such as, oh, I have to pay my employees in the next couple of weeks. You minus all of those liabilities, I will talk about them. And you give zakah on that. Throughout the year, sometimes he will have 1,000 cars, sometimes he will have 50 cars, sometimes he will have just one car. But what is on that day? Imagine a person, 1,000 cars he has throughout the whole year. All of a sudden, 2 days before Ramadan, first, someone buys everything. How much zakat does he give? Whatever he has left, the 1 or 2 or the 5. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I am not talking about the cash. Remember, the cash is already taken into consideration. Of course, he's going to have now the cash. So you give zakah on the cash. But I'm talking about just the business investment. How do you, because the cash is very easy for you to calculate it. Does that make sense, brothers? What is not zakatable? Cars and all vehicles. Properties on lease. The property on the lease is not zakatable. Why? Because we said you're going to give zakat on the income. Okay. Electronic appliances. A person has an expensive electronic, that costs $10,000. Yeah. Okay. Household appliances, fixtures in the house. Okay. There's no zakat on that. Gold and silver, jewelry, sisters. Do you give zakat? Sometimes when a woman is getting married, they give her so much gold equal to her weight on the wedding night. And she will never wear it. She will never wear it. Do you see any sisters coming to the masjid with all that jewelry? No. You wear it primarily for what? Wedding, but it's also kind of like an investment. That this will protect our wealth. So instead of giving you cash, they will give you gold, necklace, and this, and you keep it. You give zakat on that. What about platinum? Platinum is more expensive than gold. Do you give zakat on that? Platinum, you give zakah? No, you do not give zakah on platinum. Because it's not gold or silver. Diamond, you have a 5-carat beautiful diamond. Make sure it's not blood diamond. And it costs $50,000. Do you give zakah on it? Actually, $50,000, that's cheap. $1 million. You give zakah on it? On the diamond, on the ruby, on the pearls. You do not give zakah on that. All the sisters became happy now. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. But we will take sadaqah anytime, sisters. Okay? No zakat on those things. Okay? Yeah, all the stones. There's no zakat. Only gold and silver. What about white gold? Yeah, you give zakat on. Yes. You give zakat. Whether you wear it, you don't wear it, you give zakat. Whether you wear it or you don't wear it, you give zakah. What was that? No, you pay zakah every single year. Every single year. Yeah, I will give. Okay, how do we do the calculation for the gold? We said that the gold is 85 grams, correct? Okay. What you need to do, what you need to do is take a a scale to weigh your gold. And you found that your gold is, let's say, 100 grams. 100 grams. Then you multiply it by the carat of your gold. No, I'll do that later. First, the carat. Most of the gold is 18 or 20 or 22 carat. Most of the gold. Yes, sisters? 18 is very average. So you multiply it by 18. Then you divide that by 24 carats. Okay? And then that's how much grams of gold you need to give. And you say, I don't want to give my gold. Then you give the value of how much the grams is. This is a simple formula. But let's say you have some which is 18 carat, others are 20, others are 24, others are 22. Then you weigh each one of them and you say, okay, I have 10 grams of 24. Then I have 30 grams of the 22. Then I have 50 grams of the 20, and I have 10 grams of the 18. And then you do the same thing, okay? Minus any stones that are attached to it or anything. This will give you how much you need to give. This will give you the pure gold. Nisab. Take it to a jewelry shop or some, they will probably do it. And you can keep that record for the rest of your, however long you have that. You do that one time. You don't have to do it every single time. Does that make sense? Make sense, sisters? Okay. Simple formula. Arif, does that make sense? Yeah, but you have to pay for your own. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. Yes. Yes, Ahmed. Saad. Ashraf. Sorry, Ashraf. Yeah, so let's say you have two business partners who own the couches. One has a 35%, another has a 65% ownership. How much is the zakat of all of the furniture in the thing? It's, let's say, $100,000, including all the payables, minus all of the liabilities and the debts, everything, $100,000. What is 2.5% of $100,000? Huh? $2,500. You split that $2,500 based upon the ownership. So you will pay 65% of the 25, and the other person will pay 35% of the $2,500. That make sense? Yeah. How much gold do you have then? Huh? That's why you're asking. You're married? Why are you asking then? Yeah. Are you asking on behalf of your father? Yeah, go ahead, tell him. Yeah, mashallah. What do you mean? No, this is a simple formula. Yeah. So this 10 grams of 24, right? Khalas, you don't need to do this, right? Because this is what you will do, right? This and this will cancel. This one, okay? Sorry. Okay, that's the formula you do. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Every single person is responsible for their zakah. Every single person. Now, the gold, whose gold is this? Whose gold is this? This is a $1 million question. Is this your gold, brother? Or is this your wife's gold? If your wife tells you, this is my gold, that means she is the owner of the gold. Yes? Are you guys with me? Who pays? I'm not saying the reality, I'm saying in Islam, who must pay for the gold, for the zakah? The wife. Now you come to me and you say, but my wife does not work. No problem. Sell the gold. Sell the gold. And whatever this calculation comes out, that is the grams that you give. Okay? But your wife does not want to sell the gold that her mother-in-law gave her mom gave her nanny gave her daddy gave her neighbor gave her. She doesn't want to sell it. So she tells you to give it. And you give zakah with the intention that this is on behalf of your wife, then your wife is absolved from the liability. You, why? Because the end result is money must come, else does it, but the intention must be there. You cannot give your zakah and you say, I'm going to give like, $100 extra. And then your wife said, oh, and you gave it. And then your wife said, but what about, oh, okay, that 100 I gave, it was on your behalf. No, you can't change your intention afterwards. Let's say you don't want to give zakah on her behalf. Your wife is 100% liable in front of Allah. She's a Muslim, she's an adult, she's a saint, she's the possessor of the wealth, and it meets the nisab, these 5 conditions. Okay? Some people, what do? They say, or they have an agreement. The agreement is that you give me the gold. The husband will tell him, you give me the gold. I am the owner of the gold. Forgive it. Give it to me as a hadiyah. Willingly, I'm not forcing you. So the wife says, here's all of my gold as a hadiyah from my own free will. Now, who is responsible for that gold? The husband. So for the next 40 years of their marriage, he is paying zakah. Yes? He is paying zakah on it. But who owns the gold? No, him. He can do whatever he wants to do. If he wants to sell it, he can sell it. That is the caveat, that is the trade-off you will be doing. And then the husband says, I am just lending you this necklace. Yeah? The wife can wear it, she can use it, she can enjoy it, but it is as a loan. But the real owner is him. Does that make sense, brothers? This is one way that the husband, that sisters, you can make your husbands pay for your zakah if you gift all of your gold and jewelry to him. But if he wants to sell it for whatever reason, he is the 100% owner of it. But if you say, no, I want to keep it by myself, then you are responsible for paying the zakah. I hope we covered this in detail. No need to go into it. Yeah, I just gave the nisab, 85 grams. By the way, does it mean that your gold must reach 85 grams and your silver must reach 595. No. What it means is that if all of your assets equals in your gold, let's say a person has 1 gram of gold, but he has $1,000. And he owns 100 grams of silver, and he has $1,000. Khalas, he already passed the nisab. Okay? So it's not for each category. Okay? So zakat on business stock. Zakat is compulsory on the business stock, which we mentioned. It will be calculated according to the retail price of the goods. Zakat is not compulsory on real estate that is purchased with the intention of leasing it out. But it is compulsory on the real estate that you purchase with the intention of reselling it. Okay? Some people are real estate investors. I want to buy this, fix it up, and sell it. Zakat is, let's say he bought it 1 day before Ramadan. Why? Because if you look at it, if he did not buy that real estate before Ramadan, then he would have that cash, which he would have to take into the calculation when he's giving zakah. But he decided to trap it in the real estate. So it's airtight. You cannot, go around trying to hide your money from zakah. You can do that but you cannot do it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, there's no shell accounts that you can open up and trying to hide your wealth. You can't. This is our religion. Okay? Yes. Yeah, this is called haram. Yeah. You cannot do this. In fact, this used to happen in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. He had 2 brothers or 2 not partners, but 2 friends. One has 40 sheep. Okay? Another one has 40 sheep. Another has about 30 sheep. Now, how much is the nisab for the sheep? 40. For every 40 sheep, you give 1 sheep in zakah. Okay? 1 sheep. If you have 40, you meet the nisab. If you have 39 sheep, you do not. So his friend, he owns 30. So he says, here, take 1 sheep of mine. He gives him 1 sheep as a gift. This is haram. This existed back in the days. So people used to give 1 sheep. So now he's 39, he's 31. Both of them don't have to pay zakah. Or both of them is 40. Okay? So he says, here, take 1 of my sheep. So now only 1 person pays zakah. Can't do that. Who are you? Who are you kidding? See? How much, wallahi, how much is zakah on 1 sheep? Yes. 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 It depends on your intention. Why you're giving it to? Yeah. 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 Yes, I will talk about that. I will mention it. Okay? So deposits, you give zakat on. Down payments that you're keeping for zakat, you must give zakat. My mom, she was She had money for like 15 years to go for Hajj. Every year she's giving zakat. That's a noble thing, right? Money for Hajj. You got to give zakat on it. Doesn't matter what it is for. So if it's a down payment, if whatever it is, you got to give zakat. Until finally, she just gave away the whole thing, and I ended up taking her for Hajj, and it didn't cost her a thing. Wallah, this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repays you back, somehow. Yeah. Okay. Insurance premiums. Zakah? No. No zakah. Because it's not promised. It's not. Now let's talk about debts. Let's say I want to give some money to someone. They ask me for money, $10,000. They want to use it however they want to use it. Okay, before this, what is the definition of a deposit from an Islamic perspective? I give Brother Arif $10,000. Arif, I'm traveling. I don't have a bank account. Here's 10,000. I don't want to keep it in my house. This 10,000 is in this envelope. Please keep it with you. This is called a deposit for safekeeping. He is not allowed to open it. He's not allowed to spend it. He's not allowed to do anything with it, even if his intention is to give it back to me right when I come back. The only time he's allowed is if he seeks my permission. But this is the definition of deposit. What is the definition of a loan? So who's the owner of this deposit? Me or Arif? I. Who gives zakah after? Let's say Arif, he has this deposit with him for 1 year. Who gives zakah? Me or Arif? I give zakah. Okay? A loan. I give Arif $10,000. He asked me, he said, I'm trying to buy a car. I'm trying to buy a car. Give me 10,000. I want to buy a car. I don't have money. I give it to you after 1 year or after 2 years. Okay. This $10,000 that I gave to him, who is the owner of this $10,000? Me or Arif? Arif. He can do whatever with it. He ends up not buying the car. Do I have the right to be upset with him? Huh? No. Because there's a contract. The contract says he's going to pay me after 2 years. He can burn the money. He still has to pay me back. This is called a loan. He will pay me after 2 years. Now, after 1 year, I have to give zakah. Do I give zakah on it? Huh? Do I give zakah? Does Arif give zakah? Okay. Who says I must give zakah on it? Who says Arif must give zakah? Okay. I must give zakah on it. And Arif must give zakah on it. Okay? I give zakah and Arif must give zakah. And I will explain how does Arif give zakah. And I will explain what does debts. There's 3 types of debt. One is a strong debt. Okay? This is a debt that arises from a forward loan. This means that the person, he will pay you, and he will pay you whenever you ask for the money. He will pay you on demand. I will come to that. Let's only talk about strong debt. Strong debt is a debt that I tell Arif, look, my situation also, instead of 2 years, give me the money now. He said, just give me a couple of days, I'll pay you. Why? He's trustworthy. And he can find other ways of getting money from someone else, and he will pay me. This is a strong debt. Okay? So, there's another, it's called a weak debt. A weak debt is like unpaid wages. Or let's say an employer's unpaid, meaning payday, my zakat is today. Okay, my zakat is today. But my employee, he's supposed to pay me next Friday. Do I pay zakat on that weak debt next Friday? No, I don't pay. That's a weak debt. Meaning, yes, I'm expecting that debt to come to me, but it is a weak debt. I don't have to pay zakat on that debt the employer, he owes me. Or like the mahar. I'll give you another example, the mahar. Or the rental for the landlord. The mahar, let's say my wife says, I want, the mahar you promised me, I want it now. This is a weak debt, meaning this is not going to be taken into consideration for her, because for her, in her zakat calculation, to take the mahar which I am yet to pay her. This is called a weak debt. Then there's another debt, which is, by the way, the weak debt, only when you get it, then you will pay zakat. But if you don't get it, you will not pay zakat. There's another, it's called a bad debt. A bad debt. And this is where Arif, he acknowledges that he received the $10,000 from me. Okay? But he is unable to pay me. Even after the 2 years, he's unable to pay me. Okay. What do I do? He acknowledges it. He's a righteous person. And after 2 years, when his debt becomes due, he says, I cannot pay it, but I will pay you. Do I give zakah on it? Huh? Do I give zakah on it? Sisters, do I give zakah on it? Huh? Yes, I give zakah on it. Why? He acknowledges that he has my $10,000 with him. As opposed to another person, you say, brother, it's 2 years, give me my 10,000. He said, what 10,000? What 10,000? Nah, but mashan, see, come. So the plar porji, they all say, what 10,000? Like some of the mafia, they say, what 10,000 are you talking about? And then this is a bad debt. Do I give zakah on it? No, I don't give zakah. But let's say you also become badmash. You become a bigger badmash than him. And you take your, khalas, you know what I'm talking about. You take the shabab with you. And you say, you want me to teach you what 10,000? He said, please just give me 2 seconds, I will give it to you. He gives you the 10, and this is after, let's say, 5 years. So for 5 years, sorry, not for 5, for 3 years, because the first 2 years, you don't know this is going to be a bad debt or not. So you're giving zakah. Once you try to take the money from him, and he does not acknowledge he denies the existence of the debt. So from there, you don't give zakah anymore. But if somehow you take it back from him, or he becomes pious, he goes for Hajj and he repents, he says, oh, I still have to give Ali his money, and he takes my class, maybe one of you, huh? You say, oh, astaghfirullah, this on the day. Okay, I remember that guy 10 years ago. I have to give him the money. So then once you receive the money, then some of the scholars say you pay zakah from that time where you stopped paying. Other scholars say no, you just pay zakah for the previous year. That's it, meaning 1 year. Okay, just for 1 year you pay. Okay, before you have questions, does that make sense, brothers? Clear, huh? Brothers, clear? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so you have to make that judgment call. That his promises, is it true promises or is it false? You have to make that judgment. Is he righteous? Is he God-fearing? Okay? Because it's your money. Just because you don't have it doesn't mean it's not your money. The money is there. It's in the air. It's your money. I will say subhanallah. You said, so let's say subhanallah. I said, okay, let's say subhanallah. Yes. Wait, but it's a gift. Why does he have to pay him back? I don't understand your question. Let use me and you. Yeah. Yeah, so now this 10,000, when I gave you as a gift, I don't have to pay zakah. Okay? You have to pay zakah. Okay? You have to pay zakah. Then after 2 years, you want to give me $10,000. If I take it, then I pay zakah. No, just when I took it. Okay? Yeah. 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 But me, I don't have to pay zakah because my intention was always a gift. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Like what? How can a loan become a bad investment? How was that a investment? Can you explain to me? Yeah. Yes. So this will take the rule of investment, not a loan. And then whatever I covered about the investment, then it will apply. Okay. So far, are we clear? All right. So now, let's say I want to buy a house. My house is worth $100,000. Arif, $100,000 house. I put $10,000 as down payment. Do I pay zakat on the down payment? No, it's not mine. I gave it to buy liquidity in a house, right? And so now I owe a Islamic bank, or I owe Arif $90,000 because I borrowed $90,000 from Arif. Okay, and I promised him every single year I will be paying him $10,000. Every single year I will be paying him $30,000, whatever the amount is. Okay? Now, when I do my calculation, okay, let's give you guys a scenario. Let's work this out. So I have, let's say I have $50,000 in the bank. I have $50,000 in the bank. My gold and everything is worth $25,000. Okay? So far, so good? Yes? And I have the chandelier, which is worth $50,000. I have a Mercedes-Benz, which is worth $120,000. Then I have a Maserati. How much is a Maserati? Huh? $500,000. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and then I have, no one gave me a red pen. I asked for a red pen. Then I have 90,000, and we're not there yet. 90,000 in debt. Remember, we said you calculate everything minus the liabilities, your utility bills for this month, whatever, minus your debt, then you pay. How much zakat do I pay? Huh? I will give whoever gets this from the young shabab $20. Oh, now your ears became big now. Huh? When I mentioned 20, you don't care what is the question. You just want, yeah. Why you were not paying attention from the beginning? Yeah. $20 for whoever can figure this out. You pay nothing, mashallah. Allahu Akbar. Who can figure this out? Okay. I have $50,000 in, yeah, cash. 25,000 in gold and silver. 50,000 in chandeliers. Okay? This is, huh? Yes. And this is my Maserati. And this is my debt. How much zakat do I pay? 0. MashaAllah. This is why the masjid is bankrupt. Because no one is paying sadaqah. Yeah? This is why the masakeen are masakeen, because no one is paying. Okay. So we know that this one, no zakah. No zakah. No zakah. 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 Yes? How much is the zakah? How much is this? 75. 75. How much is my liabilities? How much is my debt? 90. No, this is a long-term debt. Long-term debt is different. You cannot remove long-term debt, all of it. Only what is for the next 1 year. 1 year. So what do I owe Arif for this year? Just 10,000. That was the agreement. Or 30, whatever it was. So I only minus 10,000, and so now I pay zakah on 65,000. Otherwise, for the next 10 years, I'm not paying zakah. How does that make sense? I will always be in debt, so that way I never have to pay zakah. So the scholars, they said there's something is called short-term debt and long-term. Short-term, is anything that you will pay within 12 months. And this is anything more than 12 months. So short term, you can take out the whole thing. Okay? You can take out the whole thing. So if I took debt from, if I took this 90,000 from Arif, okay, and I said I will pay you back in 1 year, and then Arif, and then my zakat, then I can subtract the whole 90,000, because I still have to pay within the next 12, let's say 6 months. Yes. Yeah, so you do the exact same thing. Let's say a person, he bought a house and he owes still 50%. And so what is his mortgage and his principal, his principal and his profit rate, if it's an Islamic bank, right? Alhamdulillah, we are Muslims and we don't deal with interest, so I'm not going to say principal and interest. Yeah, so what is the scheduled payment for the next 12 months? Meaning from Ramadan first until the next Ramadan, he says, okay, it's only comes out to about $25,000. He only removes $25,000, not $500,000. Because then what happens for the next 30 years, he's not going to be paying? That doesn't make sense. Does that make sense so far, everyone? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? It doesn't matter. It can be $5 million. Yes. Yes. You minus all of that. Yeah. Yes. Any. So now let's say you are a simple guy like me. You don't own a house. And I like to live debt free. I am, Donald Trump, once he was walking with his, I shouldn't have mentioned the name, but one person, a billionaire, he was walking with his daughter. And they came to, their hotel. And they looked at, and actually he says this, it's on YouTube. He said there was a beggar who had, that cup where people put $1, $10, whatever. He told his daughter, you see that beggar, that homeless person? He is more wealthy than me. He said, how? He said, I am $10 billion or 1 billion, some crazy number. Let's say $10 billion in debt. $10 billion in debt. Meaning he is negative. His net worth is negative 10 billion. Whereas this guy, the worst case scenario, he is 0. Which one is more? 0 or negative? 0. So a simple guy like me with 0 debts, alhamdulillah, when I do my calculation, what is the immediate liabilities? My rent for March, my utility bills, my whatever credit card bill, everything, I minus that. And then I give from the total assets, and I give my zakat on the remaining. So if I have $10,000 as my total assets, then I will minus $2,000 for the rent, another $1,000 for utilities and the car payments and the phone bills and all, and then another $2,500 for food and this and that. Okay, how much is that? About $5,000. I pay zakat on $5,000. Does that make sense? Not I pay zakat for the whole year. No. Okay. Just the immediate. If I have no debts, just my immediate liabilities, I minus just 1 month. If you have long-term debts, you minus the next 12 months. Just the next 12 months, yes. Yeah. Yeah, you don't. We call that a weak debt. You don't calculate. You don't. So you started in March 1st, right? Your debt, your rent is not due. Wait, are you the landlord? You are the landlord. So you will not count the tenants paying you for April. You will not count that. But you will count what they paid you in March 1st. You will. Okay? What? Yeah, so you own 50% of the equity. You're not paying zakat on the equity. And a time will come, it will be 100%. You will not be paying. But up until that time, yeah. So that means, so what you are saying is, let's say a person, he owns $500,000. This is all of the West. They own $500,000. They don't want to put the money in the real estate. They will borrow money. Billionaires borrow money for their $1 million. They have billions, but they will still borrow money from the bank, okay, for whatever tax incentive. So are you telling me that you have $500,000, which you don't want to buy the house, you will borrow the money just so you can deduct that whole thing from, oh, I have 500, but I also borrowed 500. Doesn't work like that. Yeah, but you don't own it. You only own what is the liquidity of it. There's no zakat on it already. No, you can't. You can't double dip like that. You have $90,000 in debt. Okay? You have $90,000 in debt. Is this due immediately? It's not. What is due immediately? 10,000. But you have all of this money. These two. You have to pay zakat on this. Minus whatever is this. Okay? Very simple. Yes, sister. Okay, I'm sorry. Otherwise, Arif. 75,000, right? I owe 90,000. Let's say if we were to take your thing. Why don't I take all this money and I give it to you to pay off my debt? So that way next year I can start paying zakah. Does that make sense? But you don't want to do that. No, you can't. No. You can't work it like that. It's the total assets. It's the total assets. Whether you use it for this, why didn't you use this for the Mercedes-Benz? Why didn't you use this for the Mercedes-Benz? Do you see? Like, we are not working in the vacuum. We are looking the whole picture, all of the assets. You can't say, okay, I have this much in cash, so I'm just gonna minus this. This one is not zakat eligible, so I'm gonna hide this later. You see what I'm saying? You can't do selective minusing or deduction. Oh, I have cash 50,000, so let me go ahead and minus that. But my gold, it didn't reach the nisab, so I don't have to. Already, I don't have to. No, it's the whole thing together. You look at it holistically, and then you minus one shot the liabilities. You can't do it pick and choose. Oh, I want to minus it from the Mercedes-Benz. No, it's the whole thing. Yes. This is if you have no debts. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And minus, so when you're doing your business, you minus whatever are the payables for the next month. So your employees, the electricity, the rent, the insurance, everything for the next month. Meaning in March, whatever is for the next month. Wait, I don't understand. Say it again. That money in the bank? Yeah, you're paying 2.5%.
Employees, salaries and everything.
Yeah.
So you know that these things are going to be stopping. You have to keep them paying for the next 6 months. So that's their salary. Now the question is that.
But it's a week. It's not guaranteed. What if you don't have any employees? Then what?
I mean, obviously, but you're going to think right now you have 30 employees. You have to pay them.
Yeah, so that's why the Sharia allows you just 1 month. You don't know 6 months after what. But it allows you to minus whatever the liability. Yes. And the assets. Yes. Yes. Correct. Correct. Yes. Okay. What if a person he owns stocks? He owns stocks. Or he owns stocks. And so on Ramadan 1st, he will look at what is the market value, how many shares, what is the market value of it, and he will give 2.5% from that. What if a person owns 401k, same thing, or Roth IRA, or mutual funds, or an IRA? How many of you has something that is called an IRA? 1, 2, okay, a lot of you. How do you calculate the Roth IRA? Roth IRA or 401k, basically it's an investment scheme in which you put, depending on what it is, whether it's pre-tax or after-tax, money into that portfolio, and you cannot touch that money until you reach 59 and a half years old. Okay? And if it's a Roth IRA, then you can go ahead and pull out the principal plus whatever profit that you have made tax-free. Why? Because you put in that money after the taxes. So you can pull out that money. Before 59 and a half years old, you can also pull out the money from a Roth IRA. You can also pull out your initial investment without any penalty, without any tax. You can pull it out. But the profits, it will incur a penalty and a tax, which is roughly around 30 to 40%. 30 to 40%. If someone owns a 401k or an IRA, and he wants to take out that money, this person, by the way, does this belong to him, the 401k? Is that his money? It's his money. Did anyone force him to invest in it? No. Because in some countries, you are forced. In some countries, you are forced. So the hukam is different in those countries. So if you go online and you try to type in, okay, zakat, those fatwa sites, depending on where they're coming from, they will give you a completely different fatwa. Why? Because in those countries, they look at this retirement, oh, this is forced. You must give. So you have no ikhtiyar, you have no choice or option, except that is a different ruling. We're talking about here in America. Now, here in America, when you are giving a contribution every month, every year, whatever it is, this is out of your own free will. Can you pull out the money? Yes. So you are the owner and the possessor, and you have free access to your money. Okay? Muslim, sane, adult, all of that. And is it above the nisab? Yes. So every year, let's say a person in part of his calculation, okay, he has 50,000 cash, okay, 25,000 gold, and in the Roth IRA, 300,000 401k Roth IRA, okay, and then the liabilities, Brother Arif will not let you go until you pay him the 90,000. So how are you going to calculate this zakah? Ahmedain. Ahmed, you have a Roth IRA. How do you calculate your, this should be easy. Who has a Roth IRA? Come and do this. Right now, when you look at your Roth IRA, it says, oh, mashallah, you have 300,000. Now you have more khushu in salah. But 1 week ago, when the stock market tanked, you were like, oh, mashallah, you were walking so humble. Okay? It's Brother Arif. He's the debt collector. So how do you calculate this? Where were you, Brother Ahmed, all this time? You said Adam altogether minus? Ah, okay, mashallah. I thought you said minus the 10. Allah bless you. Good, but not good enough. So no. We're talking about now. I have to pay zakah Ramadan first. Yeah. I don't know. I'm saying, what is the calculation? Who said that? I can. Yeah, okay. Do all of that. Do that. Okay, so do you guys understand? So now the calculation is what? This one, 100%. This one, 100%. This one is just the 10K, right? This one, so you look at it, 10% automatic, the IRS imposes on automatic. Depending on what is your tax bracket, depending on how much, because if you were to pull out now, how much is you going to pay? You will say, I will pay 25, I will pay 30, I will pay 35, whatever it is, you have to go. And then you say, let's say you will pay 30% tax, so 40%, okay? So now 40%, by the way, depends on if it's a Roth IRA, you're only going to remove 10% for the Roth IRA, right? Because you're not, you already got tax. The IRA and the 401k, you will remove 40%. So now you will pay 2.5% times 40%, 60% times 300K. Okay, does that make sense now? Yes? Huh? The 10 is standard, but the 30, it depends on you. Some people 25, some people, if he's a good accountant, somehow, so. Okay, before you have a question. So far, any? Okay, yes. Yes. Which mortgage? Yeah, so let's say a person, he has, how much is your mortgage for the year? How much? 45,000? Okay. How much is the rental income? 3,000 a month, so that's what? 36? Huh? 36. So this is the income. If this is the only assets you have none of these things. This is the only, then you don't, brother and sister, we have to give you zakah. Yeah, so you minus. So 36, you add the 36,000, you add this, you add this, you add the Roth IRA according to the calculation, and then you minus the 45,000. Yeah. No, this is your income. You minus your total liabilities for the next 12 months. Which one? No, khalas, you do everything at one time. Yeah, so let's say plus 50,000 plus the 300K I told you, right? The 60%, right? Times 2.5%, right? Right, that whole calculation, plus the 25 in gold. Okay, when you do that calculation, minus this, times 2.5. When is your zakah? Yeah, so you do it based upon how much you got now. No. When is your zakah due? Ramadan first. And then you only got 3 months worth of your rental income. You only take the 3 months worth of your rental income. Yes. Yes. I don't know. I don't have a 401k. So you said, as you know, that means you are thinking I have a 401k. I don't have a 401k. Yeah. You borrow, yeah, you have to. You either liquidate it, you borrow money from someone, and you pay them back, within a few months, whatever. You must. Is that the excuse you will give the IRS when you owe during tax season money? So it will be a liability on you. Yeah, sell your Maserati, exactly. Yeah. Does that make sense, brother? You must pay. Let's say the stock market skyrocketed. You bought, you bought a meme coin, okay, for $1,000, $1,000 meme coin, and all of a sudden it went to $1 million. One day before your Ramadan. What do you give? The 1 million. And the opposite is true too. You bought it for $1 million and it stayed $1 million, and you're wondering how to pay zakah. And then one day before it crashes, do you give any zakah? No. The whole year you were supposed to give zakah, but it didn't. So what is better for you? For your money to skyrocket one day before Ramadan to $1 million, and you give only 2.5%, or you are wishing that your money tanks so you can save yourself from 2.5%. Which one is better? So don't say, oh Allah, I hope it doesn't go. Make it after. No, you're making dua against yourself. Yes. MashaAllah, sisters, they have a lot of money. That's why they're asking so much. Yes. Yes. Okay, give it to me. So when is your zakat? Ramadan first. Okay, and then? No. Let's use Ramadan. You became zakat a bowl. You're supposed to give zakah Ramadan first. Every Ramadan first, you give zakah. Okay. And then what happens? Yep. When does it peak? In April. Yeah, you don't have to pay zakah. You already paid your zakah. You just paid your zakah on March 1st. Your wealth peaked the next day. Alhamdulillah. Why are you complaining? Okay. The year, the day, or let's say the day you now have to start giving zakah. You mark that, and for the rest of your life, you have to give zakah on that particular day. Doesn't matter what happens throughout the year, your money goes up or down. What is your value? How much are you worth on the day of your zakah? Throughout the year, you could be a billionaire. All of a sudden, on the day of your zakah, you become a millionaire. You give based upon your million, and there's no shady stuff going on. You're an investor. One day is doing good. Nvidia is 125, 145. It crashes to 125. You have a million stocks in there, so you went from being a billionaire to a millionaire. That's not in your hands. I'm not promoting Nvidia. I don't work for them. Okay. Now, what about business assets such as things that there is no assets, like Google? They're not tangible. Like AI. You own a company. So where it is services and not products. It's services. Arif, he's an accountant. Is this a product? It's a service. A lawyer, is that a product? He owns a law firm. He owns a law firm. He has employees. How do you give zakah on that? It's on the income. That's it. On the income. By the way, I have an opinion on stocks. Yeah? It's not. Yeah. It's haram. But yeah, go ahead. Unless it's a halal company. Yeah. Unless it's a halal company. It has to meet two conditions. The product that they're selling is halal, and they don't have any debts. Zero debt. These are two conditions. Yeah, cryptocurrency is haram. Why? Because it's all speculation. Have you heard of the thing where it says pump and dump? That's what's happening right now. It's pump and dump. Let's say we can make Sabireen crypto meme currency. And I say, hey brothers, you guys want to get rich quick? I know the best. Let's make a meme coin. We pump it. I pump it from the pulpit, and I give a whole khutbah on it. And everyone is like, MashaAllah. Next thing you know, it went from $1 to $1,000 one night. I say, brothers, let's dump it. We dump it. We take our money. This is so common now. It is so common. Everyone does it. And we push it on Twitter, on Facebook, everyone. MashaAllah, these are Muslim. Allah, he's a khatib. Allah, this, I'm going to be rich. And next thing you know, you will be driving a bicycle, and I will be in a Maserati. Huh? Yeah, I like to trap my money in there. Because I know I took the Zakat workshop, so now I know how to. Does that make sense, brothers? Cryptocurrency, not permissible. Stock, huh? Yeah. It's like saying, I know the fatwa, the scholar said, if it's like up to 33%, it's okay. But it's like saying this, what if I put 33% of urine in here, will you drink it? It's haram. Or I put 33% alcohol, will you drink it? No. So why are we tainting our money with 33% haram? The original fatwa throughout the history, it was this. Then one scholar, great scholar, he came up with this new formula that if most of the stuff that they are selling, it is halal, and they have 33% debt, then it's okay, or up to 33%. But he was one individual, and now all of the fatwas is being taken from him without going back to the original Sharia ruling that has been there throughout time. You want to protect your wealth and your iman? Don't do stock. My suggestion, you will say, but Islam encourages growth of wealth 1,000%. My suggestion is, why don't you start your own thing? Start your own thing. Why don't you do it in a Muslim country? Truly halal. Why don't us, all of them, let's open up, something nice, okay? And we all, because that's what stock is, right? They take our wealth to build their company. Why can't father, son, cousins, brothers, close friends, with mutual understanding, with clear, remember what I said, most of the disputes and the fights, it happens because of ambiguity in the contract, because things are not clear. Let's make things clear. Give me 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. From 30 people, that's 300,000. We open up, what do we open up, Ahmed? Qahwa house. Open up Qahwa house. Huh? Or we open up chai time. We have nice Peshawari tea. And you will chai. And we will be awake until Fajr. Huh? And we will do, imagine something like this. Why can't we do it? But we have an inferiority complex, and we say we know, this person, Bill Gates and Amazon and all of this, they can go ahead and do it better. So yeah. Nowadays there are some companies like Wahid. Wahid is halal. Okay, Wahid has investment. They will take your money and they will invest on your behalf. And I trust them. I know people that work, very, very close friend of mine. We have approved them. I am one of the people that have approved Wahid Investments in the UK. Their business. Huh? Yeah, they have a list of things. Yeah, they're approved. Huh? I think it's 76.76%. It's less than 1%. Yeah. Yeah. So we can support that. There's Amana mutual funds. Yeah, they're reliable, inshallah. So they won't invest on arms companies, alcohol, gambling, these few things. But they have their own set of halal stuff. But I'm sure they have some debt. Look, all of the scholars are not going to agree. So we're just going to have to, yeah. That's why I said personally, stay away from it. Okay, all right. There's so much more that we can talk about, but I think we will call it a night. MashaAllah, this has been going on for 2 hours. Allahu Akbar. Yes. Yes. Cash. So the definition of zakat is you take from the rich, you give to the poor. In the same currency that your zakat is due. So now, most of our money is in the form of what? Huh? Cash. Most of it is in cash, gold, or silver. Most. You give it from them. If it's in agriculture, you give it. If it's in livestock, you give it. Like that. All of this 401k, this is all cash. All of this takes the ruling of cash. You give it in cash. You cannot give it in the form of services. Zakat cannot be given as projects. You cannot build a well and say this is zakat. No. It means you give your cash and you give it to the 8 categories of people. Those 8 categories, all of them are individuals, not projects, not services. Because some people, they will say, give us, we do eye surgery. You cannot do that. Eye surgery is not zakat eligible. Wells are not zakat eligible. What else? Clinics for the poor is not zakat eligible. You can do it on sadaqah. Fi sabilillah is jihad. That's it. You got your answer. That's it. On the day of your zakah, can you pull out the money? I know, but you can take out the money, right? So khalas, you pay zakah. Whether you want to or not, that's your choice. Does that make sense? You still got to pay zakah on the stocks. You don't want to take it out. You don't have to, but you still got to pay zakah on it. So you got to look for funds where you pay zakah on. Yeah, you still have to pay zakah because it's a debt that he is promising to pay you back. He is acknowledging it. He's a good guy. He's just insolvent. He doesn't have it. So that means your money is still with him. It's just frozen. You still got to pay zakah. But if he says, no, I'm not going to pay you, or what money? Or he changes his address, then you know it's a bad debt. You don't pay zakat. Okay, zakat eligible people, let's use it another time. We will do this workshop, inshallah, where we will talk. By the way, we only talked about 50% of zakah. The other 50% is now who do you give it to? Let's do this next week, inshallah. Friday night. First of the year of lunar, so the first of Muharram. No, you can't do January 1st. You got to do the Islamic year. Yeah, the day that you become eligible, you pen down the Islamic calendar. Because every year it is 10 or 11 days less and less and less. So you're going to be in default by 11 years, and that has a lot of No, you can't do that. What do you mean? You take the balance of the previous year. You take the balance of now, and you must pay it now. Yeah, you had the money, so you became eligible last year, right? To start giving zakah. And then, so now today you got to give zakah because it's the anniversary of your zakah. Yes? So you look at how much you have now, not last year. How much you have now. Right now, how much you have? Yes. Okay, another time. No, you must pay it now. Today, you gotta pay it. If let's say you're unable to pay it because the people, it's difficult for you to go ahead and like the 401k, you're gonna pull out the money from there or whatever it is, right? Um, as long as you have separated and you made it known that I gotta pay $1,000 as part of my zakah. By the way, oh my family, this $1,000, make sure whatever happens to me, it's separate. As long as you separate it from your money, even if you don't pay it now, as long as it's separated and the acknowledgement is made. Maybe you want to go back home right after Ramadan, right? And you want to pay it yourself, that's okay. Does that make sense? But you cannot pay it in installments. No. No. There must be a strong reason why you're doing that. But no. The default is no. You must pay. Yeah. So let's say if your zakat is Muharram 1st, can you delay it until Ramadan? No. Cannot delay it for 9 months. But what you can do is you can, how will this work? You can pay for the next year. You can pay for the next year. I'm trying to think, how do you do it? Huh? Huh? Yeah, you can pay it forward, but not. I'm just trying to see how I can explain it. Yeah. If first of Muharram is, what's the problem if you were to? Yeah. Khalas, remove that culture. Right now, you're just gonna pay. That's it. That's. Huh? You, no. You will get more reward on the optional stuff that you do in Ramadan. But 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 what is wajib? You will get the same reward. I mean, actually, in Ramadan, you will get more reward as well. In generally speaking, you will. You will get more reward, but the sin of you not giving it in Muharram so you can get more reward. Okay, I'll get a lot of sins, but then just so I can get a lot of rewards. No, it offsets it, to say the least. Last two questions. Yes.
We have to stop it. And we've been sitting here for a while, so
Yeah.
the questions will never stop.
Yes. Yes. I said that. That's why I was trying to find a way. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me retract. Say that again. Does it have to pay? Okay. I will talk to you after, inshallah. Yes. Take a estimate. Estimate. He's the owner now. No, brother. You know. This is not your money anymore. You can't. He says, I have medical bills. If they are truly poor, they're not going to misuse it, brother. It's their money. We got to get this in our heads. It's their money, not your money. You are just the protector, not the protector, you're just the courier. It's Allah's money and then theirs.
Last question from the sister.
Yes, sister.
Last question.
Okay, I cannot hear. Just 1 minute. Pay what? No problem. No, you didn't know? But every single month, whatever you had. Okay, sister. So every single month, whatever money you had, you would pay 2.5%? Yeah, 2.5% or more. You would do that every single month? MashaAllah, very good. You don't owe anything. But the best way is every year once. Why? Because it's safer. But if you want to do that, where every month you pay 2.5% or more, you can do that too. Huh? You like that part? You can do that. If you want to do every month, every single month, you pay 2.5%, you're actually overpaying, but that's good though. We need people like you. Okay? Allah bless you. All right, Jazakumullah khairan. Inshallah, we will try to continue next week, maybe on Friday or Saturday night, even with the potential of it being Eid on Sunday. All right? Subhanakallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.
Jazakumullah khair for attending. Shaykh, Jazakumullah khair for over 2 hours of class. Inshallah, we will we will continue, inshallah, the last Saturday, even with the potential of it being Eid. I would ask the brothers and the sisters, inshallah, we're going to be closing the masjid, so please head home. We're going to be opening in about 2 hours, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.